Opulence, you earn everything. What is this? Hey guys, it's your girl Ayesha and I am here dishing up your Drag Race lowdown. We are now officially in season 11. It's episode 2. Oh my goodness, it was filled to the brim with opulence. You earn everything. I'm sorry. If you don't watch Drag Race, but you just watch this because you like watching me, please find that clip because it's flipping hilarious. If you're new to my channel, then hello and welcome. It's lovely to have you here. I am a massive fan of RuPaul's Drag Race, so I do like to give my little 2 pence worth on the shows. So yeah, if that is definitely your cup of tea, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that you stick around. So we're going to dive straight into this one because last week's one was way too long, simply because there was 15 queens with 2 outfits each and a big ass challenge, and like it was just a lot to deal with. Okay, so this time round and going forward, I'm just going to talk about the queens that really stood out for me in the episode, okay? Because ain't nobody got time to be talking about everybody. So let's dive into this week's episode. So basically, the mini challenge was that they had to do a celebrity photo bomb. So they had 15 minutes to get into quick drag, basically, which is code for hot mess. And they had to kind of like photo bomb these different celebrities. And some of them looked pretty damn good. Others just looked outright ridiculous. So the people who stood out for me, Nina West, she cracked me up because she just looked awful. She was photobombing a picture of Cardi B, and she just looked like, I don't know, some kind of trailer trash / roadkill. But it was good. It was really, really funny. And I just really loved the energy that she brought to this challenge. I really liked Sugarcane, who was photobombing Zac Efron. And she did it in the style of like really wanting to get his autograph. Her face, she was like, ah! I just thought it was really, really funny, and like it was really cool to see Sugar just be really sort of like comical. In fact, she was really comical throughout this whole episode, and I thought that she really definitely shone. I think that the person who stood out for me the most, for quite obvious reasons, as annoyingly loud as she can be, it's gotta be Silky. The girl stripped naked, like butt naked, like naked as the day that she was born. Okay, she was photobombing Tom Brady. I don't know who that is, but she was photobombing him on a American football pitch, and boy, boy. Do you know what? As ridiculous as it was, it actually looked really, really good. She looked, oh, hello. I'm losing my earrings. Call me, what's her name? What's her name? Raja Davenport. When she came in last week and like her earrings just dropping off everywhere. Girl, no. Can we just, are we all in? Are we all secure? Might need to get some tape on this. But yeah, so she looked like a proper streaker, and I thought that it was brilliant, fantastic. So yeah, those are the 3 that definitely stood out for me. If you want to go back and check on everyone else in that mini challenge, I'm sure that there's clips of it all over YouTube. Now for the maxi challenge, they had to reenact 2 films, Get Out and Black Panther, but they called it Good God Girl, Get Out and Why It Gotta Be Black Panther. The thing is, you have to say it like that, otherwise it doesn't sound right. Because say, why it gotta be Black Panther? So basically, it was just like a sort of drag take on these movies, and I thought that both of them were absolutely hilarious. So as Silky and Brooklyn Heights were the winners of the mini challenge, they got to choose who they wanted to have in their teams for this. Now, Scarlet Envy, she got chosen last, and she was not happy about that at all. She is quite up herself when it comes to acting. I'm guessing she has plenty of acting experience, and that's lovely, but she was very much like, I am Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. It's a big mistake by choosing me last, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, all right, girl, Jesus, get over it. Like, you better deliver, okay? If you're bigging yourself up this much, you better deliver. So anyway, she ended up on Silky's team, and Brooklyn's team all kind of like started throwing Silky under the bus. Of course, I was just there with my popcorn. I'm like, so Rue was talking to Brooklyn's team, and it was Ariel who kind of like started calling Silky out and basically just saying that she was loud, obnoxious, and that she was getting on everyone's nerves, and that she didn't think that that her team was gonna get to even have a word in edgeways. And yeah, she was basically just calling her out, and everyone started talking about how last week how she like picked up Miley Cyrus and had it all over her back and was just being really loud and really extra, and how she knows it's a TV show and she gonna get her TV time and and Rue was just like, okay, I'm gonna go back over there and go and tell Silky everything you just said. I was like, now Rue. Rue was just stirring that pot. Rue was being a Gia gun. That's what Rue was doing. So he went over to Silky and he just spilled all the tea. He was just like, girl, they be talking about you and they be saying that you loud, you obnoxious, you get on everyone's nerves, and like, yeah, they'd just be questioning your leadership skills. And she was not having it at all. So cue a little bit of a hoo-ha going on in the dressing room. I love the way though how Ariel was the only one who actually owned up to actually saying anything, and everybody else just stayed quiet. It's like, if you got something to say it to the girl's face. Like, be brave. Don't just be like behind her back, and then when it comes to actually confronting her, you're just staying silent. Some of these queens need to man up. Okay, so first up, Brooklyn's team, they were doing Why You Gotta Be Black, Panther. And one of Brooklyn's lines was, Beyonce, what? And she just couldn't get it. It was like she didn't quite get that it was a play on Beyonce and say what together. And she just could not get the line. It just never sounded right coming out of her mouth. Oh, poor girl. This would have just brought me in to come and do it. Beyonce, what? See? It's easy. Like, the best that she did it, it kind of came out as, Beyonce, what? And I'm just like, no, Brooklyn. No. I really enjoyed Sugar Cane's performance in this. She was playing Auntie Maxine, and like, she just had this real kind of like slightly older vibe, but like still down with the kids sort of thing. I just thought that she brought a lot of life to the character. She had to do a bit where she was speaking while smoking, and she just sounded really, really funny, and she was just really committed, and I definitely think that she was one of my favorites throughout the whole challenge. Another person that I loved was Plastique Tiara. She just stole every scene that she was in. She was being very stereotypical, but like her voice, like you see, if I do an impersonation of it, I'm just gonna sound racist. So like, I'm kind of like refraining from doing it, but it was so funny. Raja didn't sound that great because she couldn't quite nail her lines, so it was a little bit disappointing on her front. Nina West was actually fantastic. She brought a lot of comedy to this role. I loved the part where she just sort of went, Baby Zahra, Mama, and they were like, wrong movie, girl. I was like, oh, I got it. The Lion King reference, I got it, and I am here for that. Moving on to Good God Girl, Get Out. So first up we see Scarlet Envy and Evie Oddly, and they're doing their scene where they're together in the car. And Evie has to do this like maniacal laugh, which I wish that they actually used in the final cut because it was bloody brilliant. I will say though that Scarlett did do a really good job at playing the completely ditzy blonde. I felt that she brought a lot of kind of like airheadedness to it, and that's kind of what she needed to do. So annoyingly, she's actually quite good at acting. I just didn't like her attitude about it. For me, the person who stood out in that group has got to be Vanjie. She cracked me up. So she was playing the dorky dad, right? And she went, I'm trying to do my impersonation of this. Oh God, she cracked me up. She went, hello, 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 Christine. I'm not a regular dad. I'm a cool dad. She was supposed to say, oh, have to just see it. Like, I'm doing my best here, people, but you've got to just see it. Like, just crap me up. And listen, I know that some people, like, they upload all this stuff on YouTube, but I'm not about to get my channel shut down, so I'm not doing it. Silky really made me laugh as well. I thought that she did very well once she finally got her lines out. I did think that she did really, really well. She was playing the mum, so she was the one who was sat in the chair, like, stirring the teacup, and she was like... She was like, what's the tea? What's the tea? What's the tea? Just the way she did it just cracked me up. And the cup kept getting bigger and bigger as well, which I thought was hilarious. I then loved the way how Akira came in to like save the day because she's playing Scarlett's best friend. And she came in and she had this big ass fan. And then Silky's line was, that fan's not gonna stop us, but instead she just went, that fan ain't gonna do shit. And I was like, ah! Again, they should have used it for the final cut, but they didn't, and I was gutted. We cannot talk about this movie without talking about Mercedes Iman Diamond. So basically, she could not say the word opulence. So I just laugh every time I think about it. She couldn't say the word opulence. And she couldn't seem to get that it was own everything, but she kept saying earn everything. So I just kept, she had to come on like voguing and all the rest of it. And she came on just going, Opulence, you earn everything. And Michelle was just like, you own everything. You earn everything. Everyone's just like, what is she doing? But then it became like too much focus on trying to get the words out. So then the voguing just looked a little bit weak. So then it just came down to Opulence, you own everything. I am calling this now. Within about a week, if that, there's gonna be some fan-made, auto-tuned song made of that. Definitely, because that is going to be a tune and a half. And if she does not release a single called Opulence, then she's missing out, because she can make some money from that. I did feel sorry for her though, because in the workroom later on, when they were all getting ready to go on the runway, they got talking about pageants, and they were saying, oh, has anyone here like traveled up and down like for pageants, blah blah blah. And Mercedes was saying how like she used to travel for pageants, but she couldn't, or at least not in the way that she'd like, because she ended up being on a no-flight list. And they all couldn't believe it. And it's just because her name sounds Muslim. And it's just like when she said that, it really kind of hit home, like just how messed up that like the US government is at the moment. Because for her not to even be able to fly around in her own country is utterly ridiculous. So it meant that she had to like drive from state to state to go to all these different pageants, which meant that it took such a massive toll on her body that she ended up having a stroke. Now this happened to her, what, 4 years ago, but you could see that it still affected her. Like I was talking about it, she just burst into tears. And she ended up crying about it on the runway again as well. Not while she was on the runway, but like when they were doing the critiques, it kind of came up in conversation again. I kind of feel though that this was a little bit force-fed, and I don't know if it was like a producer thing. I feel that maybe she must have told the producers at some point, maybe even before Drag Race even started, about this event in her life. And sad to say it, but in the name of good TV, I feel that they kind of like drip feeded that in, because it's just coincidental that they're suddenly talking about, oh, so did you travel up and down the country to go to different pageants? Well, then no, she's gonna bring it up. Of course she's going to. It's a personal story. She's gonna wanna share it, and then she'll cry, and then it's this big like tender moment that she has. Like, I just hope that that wasn't done on purpose, but a lot of me thinks that it was. And there was a whole heap of other drama going on in the workroom as well, because Izzy really wasn't happy about the fact that Brooklyn's team were dissing Silky. And so she was kind of like sticking up for her sort of thing. And then Raja was like, I don't like this energy, what's happening in the room, and then Izzy ended up like cussing her out. Izzy said to Raja, girl, you need to be focusing on this challenge. Raja was like, I am focused. Izzy turned around to Raja and was just like, well, your makeup says otherwise. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Now we come to the runway. Let's have a conversation about Rue's outfit. She looked like an African goddess. I was totally here for it. I loved the cut of the long kaftan that she had on. I loved the print. I loved her hair. Everything just went perfectly. She just looked great. She looked fresh out of drag kanda, and I was totally here for it. Now, the theme for the runway was, what's your sign? I was slightly disappointed that nobody there was actually an Aquarius. First up, Brooklyn Heights. I'm on the fence about this one. I'm not entirely sure whether I like it or if I don't. I think that there's bits about it that I do like and bits about it that I don't like. I quite liked the bits that came up like over her shoulders and like over her hair. I'm guessing that was supposed to be like splashes of water. I thought that was quite an innovative way of displaying that. I did quite like that. The fish, she had koi fish on her. I don't know. I don't know whether they just needed a bit more of an outline or something, but I felt that they didn't quite stand out enough on the dress, so I wasn't altogether too sure about that. She looked beautiful though. Yeah, I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. Plastique Tiara looked absolutely stunning as Aries. I really enjoyed that look. Yes, she was wearing the same boots in the movie on the runway, but I didn't even care for that. I thought that it all went together very well. You could tell that a lot of time and effort went into her costume. Once again, those tights were rhinestoned to perfection. I just thought she looked like a very beautiful ram. Raja's look, I actually quite liked it. I thought that her hair looked really good. She was being Capricorn, so that's a goat. I thought that the hair looked really cool, and I loved her face. I think that she got the face down pretty well. I liked the added touch of having the hooves on the hands as well. She didn't fully commit to it by having it on her feet too, but let's face it, you could barely even see her feet, so there wasn't really much point. I quite like Nina West's Leo interpretation, but I just wish that her hair was bigger. It had this big like orange and golden lion on the front of the dress, but it kind of looked a little bit like a tiger, I think, because it was orange rather than more sort of like goldy yellows. So it looked a little bit kind of tiger-esque. Because her hair was like orangey red as well. Like, I don't know, I just kind of wish that it was more of a sort of fawny colour. And then Honey Davenport struts in and she's got big ass hair, like hair for the gods. And that's what I was talking about. Plus, she had a catty face. And then she had this lovely, very slim fitted, nude, super sparkly dress on, which it just looked gorgeous on her. She looked really elegant. It was a simple dress. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing special about it. It's simple, but it looked really elegant on her. And I just think that like the big, massive crimped hair just gave her that perfect sort of lion look. Now, Sugarcane, I loved this outfit. It was red and black and fierce and fabulous and fitted. And I loved the big, like, sort of swingy thing that she had coming out of her hair. Loved that. The only thing I would say is that it needed to have a tail, because Michelle was like, I got no Scorpio from you whatsoever, and I can understand where she's coming from. The colours, brilliant. The fit, great. But she needed to have that tail on, and that would have really sort of like accentuated the look, and then you would have been able to tell straight away, yep, that's it, she's Scorpio. Ariel Versace though, oh my goodness, ugh, I adored her look. The only thing I would say is that there was no need for the dark purple panel to be at the back of the skirt. I didn't like that. It looked a bit like she ran out of fabric and then just replaced it with that. I think if it was going to be anywhere, put it at the front of the skirt, but I don't know, I just think that it was a bit blocky. There was no need for that part. But I thought that she looked stunning. Absolutely stunning. Come on, it's pastel purple. Obviously, I'm going to love it. I think she might have been my favorite on the runway, actually. Stunning. Silky Nutmeg Ganache's Capricorn really confused me, because, like, if I'm gonna interpret it, it's kind of like a goat that's like drowning in water. So it was kind of like a mixture between Pisces and Capricorn. So I didn't quite get that. Like, looking at her, I wouldn't have said that that was Capricorn. Evie Oddly had a really cool concept of this sort of like digital style lion, and I was really here for it actually. It's completely like different to what I would have expected, and I thought that she was really like committed to her look. I was wondering in the workroom why she was like painting her face silver, but like now that I saw the actual full-blown look, I was like, yeah, that actually looks really good. It was literally made up of like broken pieces of computer like stuck onto her corset and stuff, and I just wonder how much of that the judges actually got to see, because it was such an intricate design. So I hope that they got to fully appreciate it, because I thought it was brilliant. Vanjie though, serving Libra realness. Oh my goodness, she came out with these big ass flower scales on her head and she's balancing them as she's walking down the runway. She looked like a goddess. I thought she looked brilliant. A very literal interpretation of Libra, but she looked fabulous. Akira was giving me pageant girl, the house down. That hair, God, I just love pageant hair. I love it. She looked absolutely beautiful. And of course, you guys know that I love me some purple and turquoise together, so I was totally here for that. I wasn't too sure about the feathers coming off of the fish. I wasn't too sure about that. Maybe just because fish and feathers don't really go, I'm not sure. But that being said, I still think she looked absolutely stunning. I love the kind of like mermaidy looking scales that she had on her dress as well. There was a lot of attention to detail in this piece. Mercedes was serving me Sagittarius on a day off, because like in comparison to everybody else, it just wasn't enough. It really fell short. And one of the judges said that like, if I can do it, then no. And I totally understand that, because anyone could have put together what Mercedes put together and it didn't look special and out there at all. She just came out in like a black outfit with some like fur on her shoulders and a bow and arrow. It wasn't enough. Now, when she came onto the runway, I was literally just like, listen, this girl better pray, because otherwise it's Opulence. You are out of here. Kahana Montrese was doing Aries, and again, I don't know, like I'm really on the fence with this one. I loved the color of the dress. The color of the dress was beautiful. That kind of like yellow into brown ombre was stunning. Would have been great for a Leo outfit actually. The horns looked okay. I've seen better horns, and the glitter on the chest, it was just like a sprinkling. It looked like she fell over in some glitter that was on the floor and couldn't get it off. It wasn't my favorite, but I did like the color of the dress. To be honest, I don't even think that the dress was even happy with the ensemble, because it kind of just like left her halfway through her runway walk. It just ripped off and was just like dragging on her heels. I was like, girl. Now, Scarlet Envy's Pisces look, I actually really did quite enjoy. The only thing I would say that would have been a great addition is, because she came out with 2 bubble guns, right? And it would have been really nice if they'd been covered in, I don't know, maybe like cardboard or like plastic or acrylic fish. So she would then have 2 fishes, and then she could have like come out like this, in the same way how the actual sign is with the 2 fishes. She could have come out like that, blowing the bubbles like this, and just sort of like circling them around like that. Like that would have just looked so good, really effective. But that's just a little 2 pence chucked in from me. She ain't got to take my advice. I just think it would have looked even nicer. But no, I thought that a lot of detail went into her outfit. I really enjoyed it. And it's funny that she contoured with turquoise, because in the workroom, Silky came out with this plain white face and she was saying, yeah, I'm going to be contouring with some turquoise and blah, blah, blah. And people were just like, girl, what are you doing? In the end, she took it all off because she realized how ridiculous that she looked. But it's interesting that Scarlett also went for the turquoise look, and it actually paid off. In the bottom, we have Opulence. I don't know if I can actually stop saying that. And Kahana Montrese. And so Kahana is very agile. She is like, whoa, she's amazing at gymnastics, especially in heels. She's fantastic. Unfortunately, her first backflip that she did, she kind of just like fell over. Bless her heart. But she still carried on, and you know, that is what you do. The show must go on. So yeah, so there was that moment. I was liking Mercedes' wig reveal. Thought it was very cool. And Kahana just did what she did best, and she just backflipped from here to Drakanda and back again. Like, she was just going like no tomorrow. But I feel that Mercedes had the upper hand because she wasn't doing all of that. And this is a Britney Spears song, and you know, like, it didn't have that kind of vibe of I need to do a load of backflips in it. Do you know what I mean? Like, we just want to see your mouth move. I just feel that Mercedes was given more Britney-isms, whereas Kahana was competing for the Olympics. So sadly, we say goodbye to Kahana. I do think that Mercedes was the worthy winner of that lip sync. But what did you guys think? If you watched the actual episode, let me know who you think deserved to win that. And there you have it, my lovelies. That is the end of the Drag Race Lowdown. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I also hope that this hasn't been too long either, because I am trying to make these videos a bit shorter. I can't help it. I just love to talk. If you enjoyed this week's episode, then please do give me a big fat thumbs up. Drop your comments down below as well. Let me know who your favorite queen is at the moment, who you want to win, who you thought was the best in the acting challenge. I want to know all of that juicy gossip. And of course, if you are loving my content, then feel free to subscribe so that you don't miss another one of my videos. Take care, my lovelies, and I'll see you all soon. Mwah. Bye.